guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Sierra and this is my February recap. It's not going to be as long as the other one, but let's go ahead and get started. So I read about 4 or 5 books in February, roughly. So I started one, I haven't finished it, but let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with the books I did finish. I do keep a notebook if you haven't seen the January one, and so it's just a simple composition notebook, and I do book reviews in it because it helps me understand the story more, and it also helps me because I have a lot of plans for my Substack, and doing book reviews here when I do the individual video, so it helps me just get all my thoughts out. So I'm not just like, oh my god, I love the book, or I didn't like the book. Like, I want to have more of an understanding when I'm talking about characters, and also just helps with my memory too, because I swear to God, I will read a book, put it down, and I'll forget the character's name in 2 seconds. So this is the first book on the list, and that is On Sunday She Picked Flowers. It is a speculative horror story. It's roughly 232 pages. I started it on the 3rd and I finished it on the 3rd. It was a very quick book. I rated it 5 stars, and it's by Yaya Schofield. So I'm just gonna read what I wrote, because with these books, they're each gonna get their own individual analysis and review for March when I do the videos. So I'm just gonna read what I wrote. This story transported me and pulled me in. It was nothing that I expected, and it brought up a lot of thoughts about cycles of abuse, generational curses that are less magical and more mentally tragical. There are complicated intricacies of the family dynamic. I think Namira, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I can't remember, because I did physically read it. I didn't. This was an audiobook. I think it's Namira. Was not so much a god or a creature, but I think she was a mirror for Judith's life. So that's for On Sunday She Picked Flowers. Next up, I read The 7 Daughters of Dupree by Nikisha Elise Williams. It is a literary fiction, historical fiction book. This one, I did listen to it through Libby. It's 11 hours and 7 minutes long. I started on the 3rd, I finished on the 9th, and I also rated it 5 stars. So I finally got into my 5-star territory. And so I wrote that it's a phenomenal book with a lot of pain, loss, grief, and misunderstanding. The fact that it took Tati's curiosity to launch her family to share and evaluate generations of trauma was very spot on. Sometimes it takes one person, one generation to make a difference. I think the curse that plagued the women of Dupree was more about fear than anything. With girls, they are typically subjugated to a world of pain that tears them apart. Not to say that boys can experience trauma, but it's very much aligned with a lot of women and girls, especially in the family dynamics of this entire family line. So with Sarah not being able to be a parent, and the spirit taking the spirits of the boys, I feel like there was actually 2 spirits essentially that really plagued the family. And really just had a lasting impact to how the women connected with their daughters and experienced the grief of losing their sons so early. So I started The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I did not finish, because if you're already listening to the first 2 books, this was already a rough year. So I started it on the 11th, but I never got around to finishing it because it's been a heavy month. And you'll hear it when I go into the other books too. But I had to take a pause, especially after reading like the first 15 pages. Like the first page immediately brought me straight back to On Sunday She Picked Flowers, if you understand that correlation. Yeah, I was like, okay, it's a little early for this. I was already just like, oh God, this is a lot. I need a break. So I ended up just like watching my old shows on Netflix, and one of the people that I follow on social media, she mentioned that one of like the very old shows I used to watch back in the day that I have a DVD of was finally on Netflix. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch that. I know it's Black History Month, but I'd rather just watch Amanda Bynes just do some foolishness, because I'm just not in the mood right now. I was just too happy. Moving on to Burn Down the Master's House. It's a historical fiction book. It was 281 pages. I started on the 13th, finished on the 17th, and it was through my Kindle. Also rated 5 stars. And so I wrote, it's a beautiful piece of rebellion, justice, and getting your power back. I loved how each chapter was interwoven and seeing how the characters' journeys went. It moves very fast after the first chapter, since chapter 1 is literally the catalyst for the entire book. It's like 89 pages. The layout makes sense because each chapter is a chapter, like major part of the story of rebellion and justice. Also, I'm very much a, get your revenge type of person. So I'm not above violence whatsoever. I'm not above any type of violence. If anything, out of like all Marvel characters or just like Marvel universe, DC universe, or anything like that, I am a fan of the Punisher. Okay, I am one to support to doing what you gotta do, especially when it comes to people who have harmed you before. Do what you gotta do, okay? Blood will be shed. Oh well, like, not my problem, babe. So I approve this message. Also, each story represents different ways of rebellion. Ways of rebellion that all end the same, because at the end of the day, turning the cheek does nothing but get you slapped both ways. So, yeah. So those are the books that I read for the month of February. As you can tell, it was very heavy. I also did watch Toni Morrison's documentary, and I got notes on that. I also did read the Malcolm X speeches. Did I even talk about this one? I did not say that. But I did finish Malcolm X speeches. That was a long time in the making. I actually started, oh yeah, I found the page. So obviously it's nonfiction. And this is the, speeches at Harvard, 181 pages. I started it last year, but I always like stopped and started. I finished it on the 19th. It's my physical copy. I rated it 4.5 stars. Yeah, so let's get into that book review summary thing I have. I said it's really good. I'm glad I finally finished it. The beginning was more information about the speeches. I think the format was a little bit off because of that, because I would have preferred the speech and a little explanation instead of spending like 60% of the book giving me information about the speeches. Like the history of Malcolm X at the very beginning, just like his upbringing, that's fine. But like after that is the breakdown of each of the speeches instead of the speeches, because I felt like then going into the speeches, I had to go back and see what the correlation was and why certain things were noted or whatever. I feel like it would have been a little bit more, it would have been easier to have like footnotes at the bottom, or like at least like have the speech, like for the whatever pages, however long the speech is, like maybe like 2 pages of the speech, and then the next page would be like analysis or something like that. I would have liked it more like that if it read kind of like a paper to me, because then I would have been able to easily to just understand it instead of going back and forth like, oh wait, that's what you meant by this and such, and going back and forth. And I don't like doing all that, to be quite honest. But yeah, also Malcolm X made a lot of references to Shakespeare, which I didn't get, because the only Shakespeare plays I've ever read were Othello and Romeo and Juliet. I did not read Hamlet. I was like, what? My school did not do all of that, okay? We literally did the main 2, because Othello was good. That one was good. Othello and Romeo and Juliet. We did not learn about Hamlet. I was like, I don't know what you're referencing to. I have no idea. Also, why Shakespeare? I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't know. Maybe he was just really passionate about Shakespeare at the time, or maybe that was easy, or now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that was just a way to connect his ideologies and beliefs and what he's communicating to white people, because white people were reading Shakespeare because it was seen as like classical literature and genius shit or something. I don't know. Maybe that's why. But I had no idea. I had no idea what he was talking about. I will be doing a video and 2 Substack posts about it. I said I will. I might do, but I definitely will. One on, I would say, the 400-year grieving process delay among African Americans and Americans, African Americans and Africans. So I feel like doing a post on that, because there seems to be a lot of disconnect between us African Americans and our African, not ancestry, but our African descent, culture that we didn't grow up with. So I feel like it's 400 years of grieving, and also a lot of denial and misplaced anger towards each other, when it really at the heart of it is just it's 400 years of grief, of not knowing who we are, where we came from, and then feeling like as if our ancestry, who is literally 99% of who we are, well, it means more so than others, depending on, you know, your lineage and how many palm-colored people destroyed your people, like depending on that. But still, I feel like I want to talk about that, yeah, in detail. And then I'll be doing a separate post for how Malcolm X and Toni Morrison kind of blend together, along with the books that I read, and how it all really just cultivates together. That'll probably be a paid post. So yeah, if you're interested in that video, please check out my Substack, and consider subscribing and just doing like a quick membership if you want to see that video. It's going to be marked unlisted on here because it's going to be tied to Substack. Hopefully that makes sense. But I just wanted to like have like some exclusivity of some things. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, now moving on to Substack. I read a lot on Substack. So I actually did a post. I'm like looking down here because I'm trying to pull it up. But there was someone that I saw on my Substack feed, XO Gabby, and she had done like a magazine spread of her January month. I was like, that's a really cool idea. Like, I really, really like that. So I got inspiration from her. And so I did that. And I also did it for February. If I can go to my freaking thing. Top 3 posts for Substack. The first one is I'm Not Black Men's Type by Love Camry. I really love this piece, and just how she has a lot of self-awareness in terms of like how she presents herself, and how it's not always going to be seen as attractive or it's not appealing to black men. And she's not saying it in a derogatory way, like, ugh, man, I'm not a black man's type. Oh my God, I just hate it. It's not like self-deprecating. It's not in a rude way, but it's just, it really just goes to show that how we present ourselves, it definitely attracts different men, different types of men. And especially with the way that she was conceptualizing how she presents herself, but also how she, how she has these conversations with men. There's a lot at play too, like certain things, especially about religion, because there's a lot of black men that are very much Christian. And she's like, yeah, I don't rock with that. And I'm like, I agree, because I don't either. Like, I'm not religious whatsoever, which is also why, like, my boyfriend is an atheist. But it's like certain aspects like that where it kind of like certain men, especially black men, get turned off by you, especially that, because it's like, it leads to a whole separate conversation of like why black people shouldn't be Christian anyway. And that's something that I stand behind. And different things that black men, that is part of their personality and what they believe. And if you do not believe in the same thing, they're like, ooh, okay, you ain't gotta do all that now. We could just keep it moving. But there's always something added to it. It's always something. The next one is This Isn't Burnout, It's Grief, and it's from a black girl's, I forgot this, the title is longer. I can't pull it up. But this post really just talks about the grief of just doing the most, especially as black women, and getting to the point where it's just like, it's not even burnout, it's grief. It's grief of our lives, of what we want versus what we're able to have at the time. And it's just a lot of different aspects of what we experience as burnout is actually grief, and the emotions and the struggles that come with it. And another post is we actually do owe people an explanation from Natasha's Substack. And I agree, we do owe people an explanation to an extent. You don't need to go into detail with like X, Y, and Z and be like, oh, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z because X, Y, and Z, you know, D, C, B, F, G or whatever. It's like, you don't need that extra layer, but you do owe people an explanation. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm tired. You don't need to launch into everything else, but just like something as simple as like we do owe people an explanation. I feel like society is very individualistic, but also deeply requires a lot of community, because there's a whole language of like, what are we wearing? What are we doing? At the same time, we're trying to be like, oh, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't understand which one it is, because the way we portray ourselves as society, we portray ourselves as individualistic, but we also have the language of the community. Pick one. You can't go back and forth with it. I feel like it's very rude, and also it's very disjointing to do that kind of thing. I don't like it. Like, pick one. I don't get it. But that's from Substack. I actually did a post. My last post from the month was actually the problem is the book community. I did put the link on here. I think I did. Yeah, pretty much just talking about the book community and things about the book community that pisses me off. And a lot of it, if you read the article, if you read my piece, it's a lot of like individual problems. I feel like it's a lot of things that individual people have issues with, and they take it to the book community, and then people are like, yeah, that sounds like a personal issue. It sounds like you need therapy on that, okay? I'm gonna need you to evaluate that on your own and then come to the book community with some type of sense, okay? I'm gonna need you to read that piece though. I really, really like it. I really enjoyed writing it, because the book community is shit. I follow people who I actually like, people who are not part of any drama. And as soon as somebody I support is part of some mess and it's not going the way I thought it was, and they, like I start to see a little bit more of them, like, oh, got it, unfollow. You can get out of here, because I don't do that. I don't do mess. My book crew, the people I follow, the people that I allow to to have like an exchange of energy with content, with mine and me getting energy from theirs and their content, we have an understanding. People actually think, they use critical thinking skills. Not everybody agrees, which is totally fine, but there is a sense of understanding, knowledge, and accountability. And if you do not have those, I'm not following you. I'm not gonna be part of that. You can take all that chaos over somewhere else. And this kind of relates to Shelby in the Book Club's video that she did, was talking about the different book communities on different platforms. So like Book Talk versus Bookstagram versus BookTube. And I feel like for me, I lean more towards my BookTube people. And that's just based off of the people that I find and the people that I connect with their pieces, like Shelby in the Book Club. That I actually enjoy and like hearing their opinions and just learning a little bit more, versus just like surface level chaos and shenanigans on other platforms. Also, I'm not on TikTok anyway. I tried for 2 seconds and I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I didn't like it whatsoever. Bookstagram, I barely even post. I don't even when I scroll on there now, it's not even Bookstagram on when I scroll for like the feed. If anything, it's more K-pop. It's more GOT7 than anything. And at this point, I just don't care. I just don't care. Like, a lot of my community is here on BookTube. Yeah. And on Substack, really. Like, I just don't delve into the other spaces, because for me, in my experience, I did develop some nice connections with people through Bookstagram that we still talk to each other. There's a person on there who is writing their book, and I read their book. Like, there's that writing connection, but outside of like those really close connections I don't mess with anybody from over there. I just don't. Like, I'll follow you guys. I'll follow. Maybe I'll see a post, maybe I like it, but the algorithm sucks. Everything sucks anyway. So I just really prefer to get it through here on YouTube, on BookTube, because I could put up a video and I could be editing, writing, doing my chores and stuff like that while people are talking about books that I could add to my list, versus scrolling. I feel like it's a little bit more productive of my time, because I can do other things at the exact same time. But that's just my opinion. What else for February recap? Nothing much, really. I mean, personally, I'm tired. Like, this month was, I felt like my brain was like fizzled out, but I was also getting a lot of things done. But my brain was like so frazzled and so fried. I think it was because of the heavy content I was reading. So now my brain is now, it's dwindling now. This is the end of February. I'm filming this literally on the 28th. Like, my brain's gone right now. I had to like rewire it just to like get my stuff planned for March and start filming, because I was like, I have nothing in here's cooking whatsoever. I'm just putting on Awkward, rewatching Awkward. I've been watching Degrassi, been watching What I Like About You. That's about it. Like, I don't, nothing's been going on really, to be quite honest. I watched 56 Days. I wrote a little bit, not too much, but I wrote enough for myself. Okay, just been taking it easy because it's been a heavy month, you guys. Okay, yeah. Also, I've been talking to my ancestors, so I've been spending time doing that. Just trying to foster those connections. Yeah, it's been a month. Okay. It's been a month, I'm tired, and I just want to take a nap. Okay, that's it. But that is all I have for this video. If you like this video, be sure to like it, comment below what you've been up to for February. If you read any of these books, please let me know below. Wait, I think I missed a book. Did I miss a book? I did miss a book. Gosh darn it, see? Don't drink coffee in the morning, guys. I didn't write it down either. I thought I did. Okay, I read Razorblade Tears 2 by S.A. Cosby. I don't know where my page is. Oh, here it is. Sorry, y'all. All right, last review. I'm gonna turn this video off, okay? It is a thriller. I started it in January and I finished it on the 10th. I finished it on February 10th, that's why. Physical copy, 319 pages, rated it 5 stars. Yeah, I had to sit with this one for a minute because the amount of N-word and hard R thrown out by the palm-colored murderers had me ready to unalive them my damn self. The fact that all this was because of someone was a disgusting human being blew me. It kind of reminded me of Angel's situation from the show Pose. If you've seen the show, then you know what I'm talking about. Also, the character in Little Rock that was tied to the pastor. If you read the book, then you know what I'm, yeah, you know where this is going. So it was giving very much that. And so I was just like, because after reading Little Rock, I could barely like get the words out. I have my videos over on the other channel. I'm gonna get them over here somehow, some way. Okay, but until then, I will probably put the link in the description box below to the playlist so you can just watch my book content from there. If you're not into Degrassi, you ain't gotta watch the Degrassi content, but if you like book reviews and stuff like that, you can watch that content until I get my shit together. The self-hate is strong and the person is so evil that they make it everyone else's problem. I love the journey that Ike and Buddy Lee went on when it came to loving their sons and the struggle to right their wrongs. Saying I'm sorry will never be too late, but you also have to respect when someone had enough. Buddy was also very funny too. Buddy was me, okay? Buddy was hilarious. That's how don't ever put me in you can put me in a serious situation, but it gets to a point where I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Okay, you're gonna hear some foolishness. I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what else to do. Now, that's finally it for this video. If you like this video, be sure to like it, comment below if you read any of these books, how you've been feeling for February. If you're a Black person, it's not Black History Month, it's Black History Year because people are cutting up and getting on my last nerves. We are celebrating the entire year and then some, maybe next year if we make it to then. Because at this point, no. Don't bother us. Leave us alone. Do not talk to me. Do not call me about anything if it is not Black people related. Thank you. Like, just, the foolishness, the chaos, the murders, the death, ICE, like, it's exhausting. It's really exhausting. It's very frustrating, and it kind of makes you want to go slightly insane and do your own Punisher agenda. Yeah, like that's where I am now. So maybe that also didn't help either for this month. But anyway, love you guys. Until next time, stay magical. Bye.